music that we choose. It's the music that we choose. It's the music that we choose.
Right then, welcome to this week's episode of L&L Football. Today we're going to be talking about the midweek fixtures and looking ahead to the weekend Barclays Premier League action, while also looking at our hometown fixtures as well.
Yeah.
We're going to crack on what we saw this midweek. We went to go watch the Arsenal-Southampton game at our local, and what a dull game that was.
Yeah, really.
We thought that was going to be more entertaining than the Chelsea game.
It brightened up in the last sort of 20 minutes as both teams were sort of going...
Forced the call into action quite a few times.
Outstanding.
Made some great...
I feel quite bad for him, really, that it slipped to the last second.
Because he just made that fantastic save, sort of reaction, sort of leaned back like that.
Clawed it off the line.
And then from the result in the counter-attack near enough, as soon as it got cleared, Sanchez got a tap in. I mean,
technically encouragement for Arsenal. Giroud was very good when he came on.
Yeah, Giroud was positive.
I mean, changed the game.
But I wouldn't say Southampton were completely outclassed. They had chances like that Pele. I don't know how you want to say it. Pele chance. He just seemed to sky it. Welbeck had his. I'm not quite sure what you'd call that. I mean,
this is where you can sort of see that Southampton haven't been competing at a high level before.
Yes, I think
a little bit of experience was lacking.
I don't know. Again, I don't feel like they were completely outclassed. But they deserved something for the game. Neither side was at their best, and I think, and Arsenal fans, we were there, and there were quite a few Arsenal fans in the pub where we were cheering and celebrating, which is all fantastic and fine. Fantastic, cheer on your own team. But consider this Arsenal
club.
You're a massive club. You've got prestige. The Invincibles. That is in your history.
You're at home against Southampton.
While they are very
good.
Very good. But in terms of the quality of the teams, you'd expect Arsenal to be able to deal with it.
And it was like an 89th minute winner.
Yeah. Still celebrating it, weren't you?
It's
what has happened?
Is it time for Wenger to go?
I personally think Wenger should have gone.
This is like an annual debate in football.
I think it's a monthly debate actually. It kind of it fluctuates. It's like a time of the month. I think if I was Wenger, I would have gone last summer. I would have gone when won the FA Cup, gone at the end of the trophy drought, good foundations there for a team, and I would have said, right, that's it. Contracts on up.
The problem has always been ever since the golden generation, Vieira, Omri, Ljungberg, Perez, is that players play well for one season, and then don't play well the next season. You look at Aaron Ramsey as the perfect example. He was absolutely outstanding last season, and this season he's been virtually anonymous. You need to see players carry the level of consistency from one season to the next.
But would you say would you say it's a lack of a lack of investment? I mean,
it's always a lack of investment with Arsenal.
You look at United, they were like, right, we're this far off the pace, what do we need? This, and this. 150 million.
Bang.
Glazers finally put their hands in their pockets when they need to, went, right, there you go, take that, Van Gaal, do what you can. In fairness to Arsenal, Sanchez, fantastic buy, I mean, but again, Ozil, when you bought him, I mean, fantastic signing.
Yeah,
but
if you look at their recent signings, they haven't even been particularly bad, obviously Cazorla was a couple of seasons ago. Almost a fire alarm there.
Okay, that was a bit weird.
Mario Balotelli, get your shit together.
But speaking of Balotelli, you've led us on nicely now to our next link. Poof, what an idiot. Just when you thought he'd done everything possible he could do to
In fairness, what's the worst that could happen? Oh no, now he still might not score.
Well, it's not so much he might not score and so much
now he's got a reason not to score.
I wonder, with Liverpool, have you got a history of buying racist strikers? Is it like a one-in, one-out policy? Like, you got rid of Suarez and we need someone else now. Ryan Balotelli.
The thing is, he made a complaint of racist abuse, which got investigated by the police in October time.
Yeah.
What? How stupid can you be?
I mean, to say...
We all know this, he does stupid things.
Yes, I mean, he has a history. I mean...
And
he also
a lot of them are funny...
Also as well, we feel we should mention, not to be too biased, he does have a history of doing very charitable things as well, as we discussed. We were talking about this earlier in the week. I mean, he's given charity. That dog home that caught on fire in Manchester, he donated a lot of money to that to help rebuild that.
He has now been charged by the FA though.
Yes, he has. So, do you reckon these sort of people, like Rio Ferdinand's probably the most infamous one for this as well. Comments are made online that maybe not quite ever this severe or this offensive, but certain comments and everyone... And
I think footballers on Twitter or Instagram or any social media is a minefield.
Do you feel like they should have a PR person just to still go...
Yeah, well,
just to check their tweets.
In the nicest possible way. None of them are particularly bright.
Well, two fairness. Going back to Matters, De Gea's, their sort of Twitter things are generally quite.
De Gea did the thing with the donut.
Whoa. That was a case of mistranslation. He just arrived in England. He was a skinny lad. He was trying to put on some. Stuff.
So he nicked a 70p donut.
He didn't nick it. It was a case of mistranslation. All right. He went to go take it, and
he tried to steal a donut.
I don't know. Maybe they do that.
1/1000th of his weekly salary.
Maybe they do that in Spain. I don't know. Which would explain why their economy is so bad because everyone's just taking shit. But
brings us on to goalkeepers, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose it does. Very interesting point made by, because we were talking about this before the Arsenal game, about how you'd seen Man United fans putting forward a case that David De Gea was possibly right now the best goalkeeper in the world. And then similarly today, Full-Time Red Devils have put up a video about how they put forward a similar case. They put forward a case for it. Some arguments to suggest it. And as a Man United fan, I'm willing to admit that I love De Gea. De Gea is awesome. I mean, if you'd said to people a few seasons ago when we first bought him, when he was having a shaky start, that kid one day is going to be, trust me, a few seasons. I mean, people would have not quite believed it.
But the improvement is just unbelievable. In the last 2 seasons, he's a different player. But it makes me angry to see people suggesting that he's the best goalkeeper in the world, or even up there.
Is this because he got Mignolet with his face? It looks like it was drawn by an Etch-a-Sketch.
Not even
just straight lines.
It's that there is no particularly logical argument.
I'm going to say that
he's better than, say, Courtois.
I'm going to say for me, right now, De Gea is not the best in the world right now. On current form, and in terms of the ability of saving teams, I think a case can be put forward.
I think that just because a defence in front of a goalkeeper means that goalkeeper has to save more shots does not make him a particularly good. You know, like Hugo Lloris has been dealing with this for a season and a half now, maybe two and a half seasons. Nobody's claiming he's better than Neuer.
But I feel like with De Gea, we've seen more evidence of what he can do.
I'm not disputing that he's a fantastic goalkeeper and he's really stepped up and he's definitely up there with,
in my opinion,
Lloris and Courtois as the best goalkeepers in the league.
In my is the. In my opinion, on current form, I'd say De Gea is in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world. I think that's a reasonable statement to make.
I'd say on current form, yeah. But
and in terms of in the league, I'd say he's second.
Yeah, I'm not denying that he's right up there, but to say he's the best because he's had to make more saves surely only proves that the defence at, say, Bayern for Neuer and Chelsea for Courtois is good, whereas Man United's defence is not good enough to protect their goalkeeper all the time.
But it shows that he has the ability to deal with these tough situations.
Absolutely, but I think if you put Courtois or Neuer in those teams, they would do just as well, easily.
Again, this is why it's a very difficult debate to have, because I mean,
you won't. That's the thing, is that you will never know until that player is put in a team that can't defend. You know, like.
When we watched Neuer against Man City the other day, I mean, admittedly there wasn't a massively great deal he could do with the goals, but it's almost like we come to expect now with Neuer that he will never concede a goal in his life. He will just like pluck it out of the air, like.
If Bayern or Chelsea's defence was in front of Mignolet, he might look like a half decent goalkeeper.
So
predictions from the midweek.
We thought.
I lost it at the last.
When we were at the pub, we were watching the Arsenal game, and we saw the Chelsea score. I said 2-0. This is one of the most contradictory things I've ever said. Tottenham can get something out of the game. 2-0 to Chelsea. And
it was 2-0
for ages.
And I was begging for a goal. We weren't even paying attention to Everton Hull.
No, we weren't.
And actually, I think we both thought you'd said that Everton would win.
Yeah, we both. So we were like,
it was locked at 1-1. So that was nothing.
We thought it was all coming down to the Chelsea game.
We thought Remy scored, and I went mental.
Yeah, you were really happy. And of course, Sanchez scored, so I knew I wasn't going to get anything from the Arsenal game. But more importantly, was he.
So then I get home. I think I'll just check. I'll just check, make sure.
The fact it was a video Snapchat. It's just so I've never been so happy to hear my voice my last time ago. And I go, Everton won, Hull won, and you were like, no.
So you won it 9-7.
I'll take it any way I can.
2-1 then.
Yep.
So I feel like this is going to just be some sort of
Wait, am I
point.
not back in the league?
No, I won the first two.
Oh.
You're back in the game.
I'm back in it.
Actually, I feel like this is going to be the turning point, and you're just going to win like 7 in a row.
I'm going to do like a typical Man United, 2-0 down, they're going to come back and win it 3-2. But anyway, so we must now do our predictions for this weekend. And of course, the Monday night fixture, which is Man United versus Southampton, which looks to be... I can't wait for it. I'm definitely...
This is actually...
I'm going to go... I can't wait to watch it. I mean...
Arguably...
I've got an assignment due.
There's bigger tests for United as it is for Southampton. Arguably, it's away from home for United.
I mean, right now, United against Stoke were, of course, a little shaky, but I feel
this
like
is probably the best time of the season
for us to play Southampton.
As we were saying earlier, their last 2 results.
Yeah, I mean, again, they weren't completely outclassed against Arsenal.
And if Forster brings his A game like he did to the Emirates,
yeah,
you might struggle to find a way past it. But similarly, if De Gea brings his A game,
but I feel, again, Southampton is always a difficult place to go play. City found out numerous times whenever they've gone there. So
it's not. You know, they're Southampton fans. I've been to see Southampton a couple of times. Southampton fans are very, very passionate and very, very loyal.
Yeah. As a good fan, they're fantastic.
And trust me, with the games I went to see, you really had to be very loyal because they did not play well. This was when they're in the Championship and fighting off relegation.
Yeah. So Southampton versus United, I can see being a very close affair. I think
goals.
I'm predicting goals. With Man United's defence, Southampton will come out fighting. They've lost their past 2 games, and I feel like if there was any team they could beat out of the 3 difficult opponents they had. I feel Man United are the most likely they could beat in terms of the weaker defence, more shaky, the ones they're going to go at.
And of course, United having the ongoing injury crisis that they are.
It's ridiculous. But on the plus side, Rooney is back. Van Gaal confirmed that
Rooney confirmed that's the breaking news this evening.
And also, there is a strong chance Falcao will start, which I'm very happy about.
Which is, I can definitely see United scoring. Southampton won't keep a clean sheet. It's whether Southampton can respond to that.
I don't believe either side will keep a clean sheet. I think there's a very strong chance Southampton will score. But again,
I think it'd be a good game. And also, I think it would be good for Nathaniel Klein if he had a good game.
Yeah, I think
up against
Klein is one of my main worries because down that sort of left-hand side for United, I mean, it's not.
Shaw out.
Shaw is still currently out. So I mean,
and
we've got
Ashley Young.
Ashley, to be fair, did very well against Stoke. In fairness to him, I mean, cleared that effort off the line.
But defensively, maybe you'd question slightly.
Yeah, I think personally, if I had a choice, I would play McNair and Smalling at centre back. And I put Rojo out
at
left back.
I was going to say Rojo because he played there for Argentina.
The World Cup did very well. In fact, knocked Van Gaal out the World Cup, and that's what made Van Gaal notice him. So that's personally what I would do if I was Van Gaal. I wouldn't take the chance to get a stronger team, but of course you never know.
Actually, and in fairness, actually I'm surprised for you people.
He did very well against Arsenal, of course. Again.
Weirdly, like Stuart Downing, really. He's an English left winger at a club, came from Aston Villa, not looking. In the last couple of seasons, like even ever getting near the first team in terms of nailing down that left wing spot.
In his first season, he did, and also one of my favourite quotes in the Ferguson biography is the fact that they brought Ashley Young to replace Ryan Giggs. I'm not quite sure I saw the logic of that situation, but apparently there was some logic behind it.
But he gets moved to left back in a sort of covering situation.
Well, I think
he doesn't look like a bad player
because he doesn't have to attack. That's why, because he can just pass it off to someone else, and he has to sort of run back and make a tackle. That's all he has to do. But we will have to wait and see. So now, predictions.
Right. Newcastle versus Chelsea on Saturday.
Yep. Newcastle a bit stuttery against Burnley, of course.
Definitely.
So, what are you going to go
for? I think Chelsea will win it, obviously.
Yep.
St James's is somewhere where they've got a good record, but they never go there and sort of smash 4 or 5 goals past them. I've gone with 2-0 to Chelsea.
I'm going to say 3-0 to Chelsea.
The reverse from the Spurs game.
I know. This is going to be the one that decides. We rely on the help of Mourinho. Hull versus West Brom.
Can't see it being
a great game.
The most outstanding games.
We sort of looked this weekend. We were quite disappointed with some of the fixtures.
It's not a great weekend.
City versus Everton could turn out to be quite good. That's normally a good match whenever they play.
I've gone with 1-1.
I'm going to go with a 1-0 win to Hull.
Ooh, okay. Liverpool Sunderland at Anfield.
After Sunderland's collapse against City after taking the lead, I think I can only see this going Liverpool's way. I'm going to say 2-0 to Liverpool.
I think we finally picked up the form, but the clean sheet, the one clean sheet we've kept recently was against Stoke, and even then they definitely should have scored. So I've gone with 2-1 to Liverpool.
QPR versus Burnley.
Interesting game, really.
Burnley starting to pick up form. Some look like they could possibly just about.
On the flip side, it's weird QPR because I think, when they were in the Premier League before, they were playing badly and getting bad results.
Whereas recently they haven't.
I think they've been playing well this season, but not getting the results. This is a massive game in terms of relegation.
Yeah,
really.
it's an early relegation battle to get those 6. It's a 6-pointer, really.
Basement battle, all the all the cliches. What do you reckon? Burnley not been too bad.
No, it's a really good. I'm going to say 2-1 to QPR.
I've gone with 1-0 to QPR.
I think Burnley will score. They've been a good. They managed to get goals recently, and that's one thing they were lacking really. I mean, if they can keep up this goal scoring form and sort of get a little bit tighter at the back, I know, and get a little bit more luck, maybe. So next we have Stoke versus Arsenal. I can see Stoke getting a win here.
Oh, I don't know.
They put up a very good fight against United.
Knocking stuff over.
What the fuck are you doing? Destroying my shit.
You should see Stoke getting something.
I can see Stoke getting something against Arsenal. Arsenal not convincing against Southampton. Stoke put up a very good fight against United, made it very close. I could see this becoming a draw. I'm gonna go for 2-2.
Ooh, high scoring. I can see Giroud playing from the start, being very, very physical.
That's what I'm thinking. Giroud will get a couple of goals, but Stoke will keep fighting, and
I think
they'll give Arsenal a torrid.
If Arsenal can get an early goal through Giroud, Stoke will they won't. Stoke are better taking the lead and defending it than they are chasing a game. And I think if Arsenal go in front, it'll be over. So I've gone with 3-0 to Arsenal.
Okay. Stoke versus Palace.
Spurs versus Palace.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong crib sheet, reading the wrong row. Right, Spurs versus Palace.
Okay, disappointing result from Spurs, but we expected that really against Chelsea.
I mean, yeah, we kind of expected Spurs to concede at least 2. I mean, but
Palace are not having a good season compared to last.
Well, in fairness, they started off poorly, then they picked up and they sort of went on a run towards the second half of the season. We could see that again. But I think Spurs will win this game. I'm going to go for 2-0 Spurs.
I've gone with 2-1 Spurs because I think Spurs' defence is not very good.
City versus Everton.
As we said, this is going to be quite a good game at the Etihad. City to win, especially with the form they showed. Aguero is unstoppable.
Yeah.
I'm going with 3-1 City.
3-1. I think with the form they're in, Everton will put up a good fight, but I am also going to go with 3-1. So I think this is the first time we've got the same score and possibly going on. West Ham versus Swansea.
Now this one, both teams are excelling really. Certainly doing better than everyone expected.
West Ham especially. I mean,
they've been the real turnaround story from last. I mean, this time last year they were just about to go to the Etihad, the League Cup semi-final or quarter-final and ship 7 goals.
Yeah, I mean it could. We don't know how this one. I think I'm going to say West Ham to get the result here. I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham.
I think Swansea have been good. I think West Ham have been better, but I'm going to go. I think it'll just they'll cancel each other out. So I've gone with a 0-0 draw.
And second to last, we have Villa versus Leicester.
Again, it's not. Neither of them have been. Obviously, Leicester are struggling, but the promoted side, it's difficult for them. Nigel Pearson's getting a little bit impatient with fans.
Yeah, I think there's a video of him telling a fan to F off, basically. That's emerged on Facebook. It's not particularly pleasant. But I can see Leicester getting a win here. They put up a decent fight against Liverpool, I think. taking an early lead.
Plus, Heskey had been training with them before he trained at Bolton, or certainly there was a question about Heskey coming back to Leicester.
Oh, I'm sure we'd all love to see Heskey back in the Premier League.
Would we?
The jokes would be relentless. But
he's gone to Bolton now. Good Johnson's signed for Bolton, and Heskey's training with them. just getting an old Premier League strike force together.
I can't wait because it's like when a boy band gets back together, like in like 20 years'
time. And they're
time.
all a little bit older and not as good.
They put on a little bit of weight, got a bit of a beer belly. I'm going to say 1-0 Leicester.
I've gone same scoreline other way, 1-0 to Villa.
Okay, and finally,
the big one.
The big game, the weekend, Saints versus United.
As we said, both sides will probably score. It's at Southampton. I'm going to be optimistic and say that they'll hold you to a draw, so I'm going with 2-2.
I'm more confident. I'm going to say 3-1 United.
Okay then.
So the last two fixtures we will do. Obviously, we have to do our local teams this week. We'll start with Oxford. I mean, you've got a FA Cup second round against Tranmere.
I'm hoping we'll win and get one of the big boys. Big boys at home over Christmas, and then I'll go and watch it.
Can you imagine? Just saying this. What if you win and you get United at home?
I tell you what, I would go to that game. Guarantee, I would be there. I'd almost be tempted to get you to come up from Brighton to watch it.
I mean, what I'd have to do is, I'd come in and I'd go in the Oxford side, and if Man United score, I'd like go somewhere like secluded where no one went, and I'd just celebrate.
Well, it is Oxford, so you could go and sit on the garden fence and no one would get you.
Fair enough.
For those of you who don't know, the Kassam Stadium has 3 very sizable, especially for League 2, and fairly well kitted out stands, and 1 garden fence down the air side which hasn't got a stand.
But still
famous in the lower leagues for it.
So, Oxford versus Tranmere, what are you thinking?
I want them to win. I'm going to go with 2-1 just because I want them to win.
I'm going to go with the same result because I'm not familiar with Oxford, but sure enough, I'd like them to win because if they got United in the next round...
I'm so going if they get a good
It's like when Crawley got United.
Didn't they hold you at Old Trafford?
It was 1-0, just... I think... who was it? Matt Tubbs, and he scored a bicycle kick like in the last minute.
It's just... Yeah, United, if anything, against lower teams in the FA Cup, never seem to.
I remember Lindegaard made his debut against Southampton that competition. It was a bit shaky.
And I remember it was quite a long time ago, but Exeter played United at Old Trafford and actually took them to a replay as a 0-0 draw.
Yeah,
which is probably part of the bus football, but you can sort of understand it from a lower team at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and finally, the last game we're going to talk about is my home team.
You've got to go to Derby.
I'm not looking forward to this weekend, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be
the form you're in.
And the form Derby you're in. This is going to be the game that changes our season. We're going to go up and Derby going to go down. End of the season, we're going to be the other way around. I can't even say it with fucking straight face.
Derby are going to smash you.
I'm never ever going to make a prediction that my team will lose. I will back my team till the end. We could be 8-0 down. I'm going to still go. They're going to pull it back. They're going to pull it back. It'll be fine.
I've got to admire your optimism.
That's all I've got left. I am going to go with a 3-2 Brighton win. Last minute. I don't even know if he's injured.
Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, let's say Lewis Dunk is going to do what I did last time I saw Brighton play. He's going to come up the end, last minute header.
That's always the best one. I remember I went to watch Oxford a couple of seasons ago. It was against Barnet. Edgar Davids was playing.
Oh,
Edgar Davids is not good anymore at all. But
no.
That's
going to be the thumbnail for this week.
They parked the bus and they wasted time from the first minute. Their goalkeeper's Graham Stacker used to play for Reading.
That's what. I can't remember what they're called now. Charlton. That's what Charlton did when that game. The last game I went to, Charlton. They were delaying time for as long as they could.
And they've been holding up the game all the time. And obviously, Oxford fans right behind the goalkeeper are giving him dog's abuse.
Yeah, we did.
And it's like stoppage time. And because they wasted so much time, there's 4 minutes added on. And from a corner, our big blundering centre-back Michael Raines smacks his head on the ball and puts it in the last minute of stoppage time. That was a sweet moment, right in front of us, sat behind the goal.
Now, the unfortunate bit, what do you think's actually going to happen this weekend? What is more
4-0 to Derby.
To be honest, I think that's quite kind, if anything, really. You're taking a bit of pity on Brighton there.
Well, considering that they have a habit of destroying teams at home.
True.
4-0 derby.
We'll be back on Monday or Tuesday, whenever we can film this, to talk about the previous weekend. Actually, probably Tuesday, because of course Man United are playing on Monday.
Yeah,
so
can't really do anything before that game.
No, we can't. So we'll be back on Tuesday then with our next episode. We'll talk about the weekend that's just gone, and also
The League Cup.
League Cup, and then on Friday, before it will probably go up on Friday. Before Friday, we will do our
colossal Christmas
special. So next week we'll be doing our Christmas review, our Christmas special. If you like, I can't promise Santa hats or decorations. I'm afraid my room is quite bare.
Santa hats at home.
I'm sure someone will have one. Anyway, yes. So we're going to try and predict as best we can what we think is going to happen over the Christmas period. Look at certain key matches over that month while we're away. We will talk about next week the Ballon d'Or with, of course, Manuel Neuer.
That's a massive question, isn't it?
And I think it's fully deserved, in my opinion. I love Ronaldo, but I would love to see a goalkeeper win the Ballon d'Or, because it would despise it. The past few years, I mean, after a while, there's been Douglas, Messi or Ronaldo. The fact we've suddenly got someone else who could possibly challenge for it, I think makes it a lot more interesting for football. As an observer, as a football fan, and as someone who's a bit more, of course, a bit more neutral when it comes to this, because of course these players don't play for my team. It's nice to look at it and go, they're all fully deserved.
Look at something from an objective point of view.
I mean, because of course Van Gaal also said he believed it should be a World Cup winner, which I think is fair enough. I mean, and I
think that's a little unfair on Ronaldo.
I know. I think it's obviously I agree that in terms of form this year, in my opinion, Ronaldo should win it. I think that's.
But Neuer, it's sort of who's had the best footballing year. And I think Neuer has had a pretty outstanding footballing year.
I mean,
although Ronaldo won the Champions League,
and Ronaldo put several goals past him in that Champions League tie. So, well, I mean,
it's actually probably the closest. It's
but also, we can't forget Messi has now broken the Champions League.
Messi's having a fantastic year.
Yeah, I mean,
it is probably the closest it's been in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, last year, it was foregone conclusion it was Ronaldo because Messi wasn't in it, and Ronaldo started to pick up. And I think this year definitely going to be a lot closer. But obviously
responded to Ronaldo pulling ahead, and then Neuer's just come. I mean, not from nowhere.
Yeah, but it was like when Ribery was up for it. Let's not forget. Was that the European one? Ribery was up for one, then a few last time round. But of course, we will talk more about this in depth next week, so we won't spoil everything now. So L&L will resume. We can guarantee on a weekly basis from the 12th of January. From that basis on, we will be back and we'll be doing weekly reviews again. Obviously, we would like to do it when we're back home, but over Skype.
You're from Brighton, I'm from Oxford.
Yeah, there's a bit
tricky.
Yeah. Until next time, bye.
See you later, guys.
I'm coming there to see ya.